Yo, what's happening around here? I am Captain Tommy Scoville, and I got to get used to that. I'm Admiral Tommy Scoville. I got promoted. Not sure if you heard that, but I was promoted to Admiral. Good to see you all. I saw a lot of you earlier, and earlier than that, been busy as hell today, man. Got a lot of stuff going on around here. A lot of stuff going on around here. I hope you're all doing well. Today we're going to talk about one of my favorite subjects, truthfully and honestly, because nobody's worth a crap at it. Peggy Dooley, good to see you. Wow, good to see you, Peggy. Miss Al Smokes, good to see you. Sweet Liberty, Gemini Girl, good to see you. Christian B, what's up? Mile High Hokey, good to see you, Mom. How are you? Kristen Melinda, yes, right, demoting myself already. What am I thinking? Plant Freak, how are you? Yeah, you know what? It is a good evening. I'm feeling good. People, I really am. All things considering. Hey, inappropriate Hep. What's happening, Hep? Good to see you. I'm actually feeling kind of saucy today, people. And that's a good thing. You need that. You need that from time to time. I'm telling you, that is something you need from time to time. There we go. Let's see if we can get this in. I'm working with a slightly different setup. Hey, Blake Reed. Are you kidding? What's happening, Blake? Sandy Wendy, good to see you. Goosebumps 801, always an honor. Yeah, you know something? Nice. Blake, I like that. He says, might I forgive myself? For God forgave me first, in the same way I would stitch my flesh as to stop the bleeding. You know what? Here's my thing. Let's do this. I like that, Blake. I really do. And I am a firm believer in the power of forgiveness. And my religion does dictate that God forgives people who ask for forgiveness. Now, if you don't believe that, that's great. It's got nothing to do with it. But let me explain something to you about the word forgive, because I dig this. I've talked about it a lot when we talk about forgiving the unforgivable, right? For real. I've talked to a lot of people on the boat who have been, hey, Lumen, good to see you. ASAP Lizzie, what's happening? Jamie Smith, people who have been, had horrible things done to them. Make it make sense. Lisa, how are you? Roberta, people who have been through it. What if you're SA'd? How do you forgive the person that does that? If somebody takes the life of somebody you love, how do you forgive somebody who does that? You say that's a tall order, right? It's almost impossible. The origin of the word is not to exonerate or to give somebody a pass or to say to somebody, don't worry about it. What you did is no big deal. Seriously, don't worry about it. It was just a murder. We weren't that close anyway. It's nothing like that. What you're saying, if you go to the root of the word, it's to give it away. You're getting rid of the crap that's on you, right? You're giving that away. It's the exact same thing that I did with my past. The guilt from it anyway. Oh, wow. Miss Sunrise Dawn, I hope they fix your power soon. She's sitting in the dark for no apparent reason. You know what, Blake Reed? I dig that. I really dig that. I really dig that. So people, this is something I struggled with mightily when I first got sober. Unlike most people here, I had to really, really work on some pretty heavy crap, right? I had a pretty rugged criminal history, right? I had a pretty tough criminal history. And I had to come to grips with the things that I did in my past. If I had any intention whatsoever of moving forward and being happy, um, I really had to be able to forgive myself. And this was a difficult thing to do. The disease concept was huge for me. It really is. I have friends that have survived just about every disease you could think of, right? Cancer, I mean, all of it. I've had a lot of, we have a good size audience. I know a lot of people that have survived a lot of things. This disease that we have is different than any other. It's the only disease that makes you want to say, I don't have that. Instead of running to the hospital to get treated, we go, no, I don't have that. No, I'm good. Trust me, I don't have that. You know what, Kristen, Melinda, I love you and Blake. You guys are great. You really are. I'm so glad all of you are here. Allison, Metcalf, Palumbo. Yeah, you made it to a live. Good to see you. I'm glad that you're here. The once I came to realize that uh, my disease is legit. My disease is no less legit than anybody else's. Right? I'm sorry. My disease is no less legit than anybody else's. Has symptoms, right? It can be tested for. It is 100% no different than any other. Now, you say, but yeah, you make a choice to be a drug addict. If I never picked up the first drink, it's true. It's true. In fact, if you picked up the first drink and never picked up a second, right? However, the very similar to diabetes, right? You can get type 2 diabetes from lifestyle, right? If you pump the brakes, you can lower your numbers, you can reduce your risk of diabetes. People have to have the precursor to type 2 diabetes, and then the lifestyle will bring it on. No different than addiction. Sound familiar? You have to have the precursor to addiction in your genes, and then you got to make some bad decisions. No different than diabetes. Oh, but it's different because we will crap all over a drug addict and we will not crap all over somebody that has type 2 diabetes. And I wouldn't want you to, by the way. I just don't think we ought to be crapping on people who have, who suffer from drug addiction. The more you can understand, the more you can come to grips with the fact that we are survivors of a pretty tough disease, and it's a disease that forces you to lie. It's a disease that makes you do some really, really ugly things. Sorry. Blake, you're a great dude. Blake is a good dude. Miss Sunrise Dawn is a proud mom tonight. My daughter graduated pre-K, and at the parent teacher conference yesterday, the teacher was very happy with her progress this year. Well, that is excellent. Too happy to hear that. Blake, please do feel better soon. We love you, Blake. And I mean that. Very few people on the big red button that are as kind as my friend Blake, and I truthfully love him. He's a great human being. Mean that. The day is coming where Blake and I are going to meet, because that's just one of those things. We're heading across the country here. Yeah. You know what? I dig that. That's why we are here. Blake, your words made a huge impact. Hope you feel better. Did you catch that? Your words made a huge impact. It's a beautiful thing, my boy. A beautiful thing. I need a card. How are you? Glad that you are here. Truthfully, it is an honor. And I hope things are going well. I need a card from our conversation earlier in the week. I hope that's working out. I trust it will. Jamie Smith, good to see you. Kristen Melinda, do you not love coming to coming on the big red button and farting around? No joke, right? Coming to hang out with some friends, doing a little group therapy kind of a thing where we all kind of hang out and make sure that everybody's feeling all right. Check with one another. Make sure no one's suffering in silence. ASAP Lizzie, good to see you. Make sure that no one's suffering in silence. We're gonna throw it out. Right? If we're not feeling well, we're gonna tell people we're not feeling well. If we're suffering, if something's going on, if we're feeling some kind of way, if we're feeling like there's a chance, we might do something stupid. And by stupid, I mean, backslide. Because most of us here, whether or not, I know a lot of you are not addicted to drugs. However, we're all trying to change something. I figured, Anita. I figured. And of course, you're going to be gracious and kind because you're that kind of a person. So, but it's nice to be able to say, hey, you know what? Check this out. For real, it is. And that makes me happy for you too, for the record. It really do. It really do. Casey, I'm glad you're here. Yeah. So beating yourself up for the things that you do in the past will literally drag you into the depths of hell. I'm not kidding you. Think about where I ended up. Can you imagine? Can you imagine kicking dope in a federal prison, right? Coming out of that fog of 3 decades of just being in a complete opiate fog, right? In a complete opioid haze. I come out of that and I'm in federal prison. And all of the emotions I've had put away for decades, start doing this one on me instantly. Ants, automatic negative thoughts started pulling me apart. Space Eagle says, Tommy, I really needed this one. Forgiving myself is the hardest thing for me to come to terms with. It's been a dark road. Just want the best for my friends and family. I love you, brother. You know something? This is not an easy thing. This is not an easy thing. AJ Speaks says, I'm addicted to carbs. You know what? It's a beautiful thing. Say that crap out loud. Right? To say I'm addicted to carbs is a beautiful way to start the ball rolling. AJ Speaks, well played. Well played. I'm addicted to carbs. You know the beautiful thing? Addiction's addiction. We're all in the same boat. That's why we call this place the Lifeboat. AJ, you do the exact same thing for the addiction to carbs that you would do for the addiction to any other addiction, right? You're going to say, I got to get this under control. Number one, right? You realize this is a problem. Now, whether you do the 12-step method, whether you do the 3-step method, no matter how you look at it, you do have to say, hey, man, this is a problem. Hey, this is a problem. Now, what are you willing to do to make that problem go away? The beautiful thing about something like being addicted to carbs is that very often, if you give your body what it needs, you're not going to get the hunger pains anyway. You're not going to be sitting there bumming out. When you try to when you try to go on these crash diets where you put nothing into your body, that doesn't work. And it tends to make people do that yo-yo crap. But if you start to give your body what it needs in the amount that it needs it in, really cool things begin to happen. ASAP Lizzie says acceptance is important too. Recognize, no question. No question. I don't want to waste the present reliving the past. You know what, Caroline? Doesn't pay off. Now, I'll tell you something. I have journaled through, my channel name is called Cults and Crims, is the name of the channel. Cults and Crims, we're funny. I agree with you. Not wanting to waste the present, reliving the past. The one caveat to that is, prior to me putting it to bed, I spent a hell of a lot of time journaling about it. I spent a lot of time journaling about it. And for me, that was super important. It really was. Now, my past, I can't compare my past to anybody else's, right? You're right, ASAP Lizzie. Diet should be lifestyle. It should not be, oh, I got to make this radical. No, you know what? Just change how you do everything you do. You're going to take Taekwondo with your lady friend? Jason, I love this. And I'll tell you why. Absolutely love this. The mind, body, spirit concept is something that I have said, from Jump Street. If you want to get the most that you're going to get out of that thing you're walking around in, right? The frame. You want to get the most that you can get out of this world before you punch your ticket. You're absolutely going to start doing something for your body as well as your mind and as well as your soul. If you're not doing those things, if you're not journaling, if you're not getting up in the morning and making beds, if you're not doing everything you need to do, right, to take control of your life, but I love the fact that you're doing Taekwondo. Anything where you're getting out and you're starting to exercise, I love that. I don't know if there's much I like more, to be honest with you. Love it. Allison Metcalf Palumbo. Could one of my wrenches put her her channel, link to her channel up there? I see so much addiction in my world. I want help. I want to help so many homeless, and I don't know how. Well, you know something? There's a lot of things that you can do, actually. My therapist has me journaling. I don't get it yet. Okay, hold on one moment. Look, volunteer. Go down to shelters. The first thing you can do is go down to shelters and volunteer. And what you will find if you start to do that and do that regularly, you're going to find people that are doing other things, but it's a great place to start. Trust me. Volunteering at shelters are great. Uh, Jason says, my therapist has me journaling. I don't get it yet. Well, let me explain it to you the way I look at it. And everybody looks at this a little differently, but let me explain it to you the way it was explained to me, right? Massively, it's going to help you to understand the past. It's also going to help you to understand how you're messing up right now, right? If you take the time to write down everything that you're doing every day, when you start to get off track, you're going to notice. But more importantly, we live in two distinct worlds, right? We live in the world that we're awake during the day, we're doing our thing. That's one world. The second world is when we come home, we crash out, right? And the second shift takes over. And our subconscious starts to go through all of the crap that we're dealing with in the world and reassembling it back together to put some semblance to where we can make sense of our life. Yeah. This happens while we sleep. If you say, I don't dream, trust me, you do, right? Maybe you don't remember your dreams, but you absolutely dream. If you don't, you tend to go batshit crazy, right? And quick. It is a very serious process. If you're not dreaming, you're in trouble. So if before you go to bed, right? Most people go home, right? They all day long, they've had this person piss them off. They had this happen at work. A client did this. The wife called, yelled at him about that all day long. This person's just been dealing with crap. They come home, they walk in the door. The kid's got a Lego, 2 feet inside. You step on it on bare feet, right? Everything just goes to hell in a handbasket. And when you go to bed at the end of the day, all of that crap gets handed off to the night shift, right? Put this back together, guys, so that when I wake up in the morning, I'm not a basket case. Well, guess what? It very rarely works that way. So, journaling at the end of the day and taking all the crap that happened and putting it into a framework, you're structuring it. It's an external hard drive. You are structuring your day in such a way that as you put this into an order, you're using the logical part of your brain, and you're getting all of that put into place right before handing it off to the night shift. Now, the night shift has time to work on other crap. You feel me? The important stuff that maybe you didn't write down, the subconscious stuff. But if you didn't take care of the stuff that's on the surface, then it just gets confusing. But the following morning, when you wake up, you don't know where the night shift ended. It's not like the day shift, right? You don't know. It's unpredictable. You might be in the middle of a dream when you wake up. You might not. Who knows? Follow me. So when you wake up first thing in the morning, you do an info dump. Boom, everything in you don't. Put it down onto the page. Just write. I don't care if it makes sense. It doesn't have to. It's just an info dump. So that anything that was kind of residual, stuff that's just laid out on the table that was left by the night shift, you just sort of sweeping that up and throwing it onto the floor so that when you start the day, Jason, you got a clean slate. Nothing's bothering you. There you go. You're out into the world. Do that for a couple of weeks and good things happen. Now, on the community tab here, you're going to see some prompts that we put up there, things to suggest for you to help you to get started writing. Most of them are super innocuous, but every once in a while, there'll be something that'll say, I throw this one out as an example all the time. If I were to say, write down the names of every teacher you can remember from elementary school and write down any attributes you can remember about her. Mrs. Gordon used to hit kids with rulers, right? I had a Mrs. Gordon. She used to smack people with rulers. Absolutely vicious woman, right? But she would smack you on the knuckles with a ruler. I mean, like that. But Hugh used to do this. Write down all the elementaries. I start writing it down. And as you're writing it down, memories from when I was in elementary school start popping up. Things that I hadn't thought about or even didn't have the capacity to think about. If you're not diving back there, it's not liable to just pop up into your head. But now what I'm doing through this journaling is I'm peeling that friggin' onion, right? I'm starting to look at some really unusual crap from my past when all of a sudden you get smacked right in the side of the head with, holy crap, this is why I do dope. Plain and simple. Here it is. Right in front of me. This is it. Here was the fracture. Here was the section where Tommy jumped the rails. Here's the section where all of a sudden I was so uncomfortable in my own skin because of X, Y, and Z. From that moment on, I was a trash bin just to dump dope into. Anything I could put in there. Until until I found the one that cleared out everything. I found the one that took away all pain, physical pain, spiritual pain, emotional pain. It was, booyah. This was answered prayer. Kag, good to see you. Glad you're here. Answered prayer. I'm not kidding. All of a sudden, I was not in pain anymore, not in any kind of pain, and I was confident to beat hell. Everything was perfect until it wasn't, right? Until it starts to demand a lot more money, right? It demands a lot more of your money, a lot more of your time, a lot more of everything. Celebrating, I completed a certification program and received my certificate this week. The new opportunities available to me are exciting. God, how good is that? Congrats. On behalf of everybody here in the boat, good for you. Hope the opportunities, I hope that that the doors that should open do. The ones that should open, Gag, I hope you walk through them. I hope that they open, and I hope they're obvious. You follow a path. Yeah, but yeah, no problem, Jason. To me, this was a huge thing. Like for real, this was a huge thing because for the first 46 years I was on this planet, I didn't do this, right? I didn't do the journal thing. And people told me to along the way. I got into really good rehabs, and people were always telling me, oh, you got to do this. Now, none of those rehabs worked, right? Because I didn't listen to anybody. When they said, oh, you really got to do this, I'd go, yeah, I'm not, I don't write. I don't write. Sorry, I just don't. Right. And they said, okay. When I did it with Q and I'd say, I don't write, he'd go, yeah, then you don't get sober. Miss Dragon, good to see you. He'd straight up, he'd be like, then you're not getting sober. You're not. Now, I beg to differ. Marketplace Boutique, I'm glad you're here. I beg to differ. I think you can get sober that way if you have to. You can white knuckle through that crap. But if you're here for that, beat it. For real. You want white knuckle sobriety, you're in the wrong house. We want you to live your best life. Right? That white knuckle crap's got, there's nothing on that. Right? Nothing good about that. White knuckle sobriety sucks, man. Kristen Melinda, back in December, Tommy encouraged you to. I love that. I love that. That's the coolest thing I've ever heard. I really dig this. I really dig this. Do you love that, crew? Wow. Da, 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 da. Much love, everyone. Quite the day. My share of the first love is home with me finally. Miss Dragon, congrats. Congrats. That's awesome. Yeah, Cag, that's a beautiful thing. It really is. I'm glad that the boat had a hand in that. But you know something? You had to go do it. You did the heavy lifting, right? It's super easy to advise somebody, hey, you should probably do that. But hats off, right, for getting out there and doing it. In fact, that's probably worth the 35-foot tall quibble participation trophy. Will you look at this thing? Good God in heaven. So congratulations. Can we get it, the whole thing in the screen? Kind of got to get it sideways or diagonal here. There you go. That is for you. That is really good sized. Boy, do I love and I do love the camaraderie here, man. I do love, you knew the trophy was coming? The huge trophy. I love the camaraderie here. I love that this is a place where people can come and say, hey, you know what? I had a bad day. Or let's celebrate. ASAP, I would absolutely call that journaling. ASAP Lizzie says, I wouldn't classify what I do as journaling. I get ideas or inspirations and open my notes app and then jot them down. Oh, you can call that anything you want, but I promise you, it is very much journaling. I know people that just draw, that just use art in their journal. And I promise you that's going to get it done. What you're doing is you're spending time alone, writing down things that are in your head. People who are successful put pen to paper on a daily basis. Nellie, thank you. I am feeling good. Thank you. Appreciate it. And You know what? I've screwed up more than anybody on earth. And the person that helped me come out of it was really intelligent. And I kind of just spit out what he taught me and a lot of books I read in the time that I sat in prison for bank robbery. I had a lot of time to kill, and this subject to me was more interesting than anything else on earth. I just could not understand how I ended up the way I was. Right? Nobody else in my family ended up in prison. Nobody else in my family was a criminal. It didn't make any sense to me. And like so many people who are screwed up. Good to see you, Tommy Bird. Like so many people who are screwed up. I looked to try to study maybe to figure out what was wrong with me. You know, I read a lot of books on addiction, a lot of books on the mind, and yeah, you know, I don't know that I know a hell of a lot more than I did when I started, right? But I do know that if you're not writing down things every single day, if you're not putting a pen to paper, you're not going to get your goals in life. Booyah! That's it. True story. You're just not, right? The successful people on this planet put a pen to paper every single day of their life. They take what's in here and they put it down on the paper. Why? Because up here, it's a friggin' pipe dream. Up here, it is a worthless jumble of word salad. You get it out of here, put it down onto a piece of paper. Now you've got a goal. Now you've got a concept. Now you got an idea, right? If not, it's spaghetti. I enjoy it because I've created some neat different medias from them, short videos. Okay. How is that not? That's exactly what it is. You're using this as a creative avenue and you don't trust me, ASAP Lizzie. Just as good as journaling. Call it whatever you want. It's the same thing. It's it really is it's an amazing thing what happens when you just get this onto paper. And there are people, as I said, people write music to get the thoughts in their head out. There are people who paint, who draw, whatever it is, right? I've read some comedy stuff that people have written in journals. It's pretty incredible. My new favorite quote: a disco ball is hundreds of pieces of broken glass put together to make a magical ball of light. You aren't broken, you're a disco ball. You know what? I dig that. I dig that. Truthfully. I love this. I love this. Tell me you don't. People, this is a hat off to the crew of the boat. I promise you. This is to everybody here. Because of the boat, my dream to be of service to others in my retirement is possible. Having support makes it easier to tackle making changes and pursuing goals. And I'll tell you something, you should have people who say, you know what, congratulations, that's friggin' awesome. Honestly, had a dream, set a goal, looked at it, achieved it. Holy hell. I mean, if that isn't as cool as it gets, what is? Think it gets better than that? If it does, I don't know how it gets better than that. I really don't. I really don't. I love disco balls too. Except says, my love for your statement is twofold: the glass piece analogy and my love disco balls. I do too. There's just something incredible about firing a little light at a spinning disco ball. You know the captain's dragging. I'm not going to lie to you. He's dragging a little bit tonight. I hope he's feeling better as well. He's uh, he's a hell of a kid. You know, he really is. He's a young man. He's not a kid. He's a grown man, but love him. Love him, and I will be checking in on him to make sure that he's doing okay. Hold on one second. You never. I just want to make sure that that wasn't somebody that was in trouble, but it's not. Uh, Picked up a pair of disco ball earrings. All right, you're really into it. Okay, that's really into it, but I like it. I like it. Um, Debbie P. 54. Just started journaling yesterday. Yesterday and today aren't much, but I've finally broken down and started. Good for you. your life begins to change. And do not quit. Do not quit doing this. You watch. Make this a habit. Put away a block of time in the morning and at night. Do this. Make it a friggin' habit and watch what happens to your life because it will dramatically change. I promise you, I am not BSing you. Jeremy Shelton says, some days are diamonds and some days are rocks. One single text message gave me automatic negative thoughts. Sorry, I have nothing funny today. You know what? That's good. Not every day are we funny. And Jeremy has brought me, I can't tell you the untold laughs, but automatic negative thoughts, my man, suck, right? Everybody understand this concept. The ant, the automatic negative thought, they crawl all over your brain. It's that internal monologue that tells you suck, that tells you life sucks, that tells you you're not good at what you do, that you should have had a better job, that your ex-wife left you because your junk wasn't long enough, whatever it is that gets caught in your head and just continues to churn it out and churn it out and churn it out and churn it out. But an automatic negative thought can't be taking place if there's another thought. It's a simple concept that two things cannot occupy the same place at the same time. Feel me? This and this could not be in the same place at the same time. One would have to displace the other. Same thing happens with negative thoughts. If you got a positive thought put into your dome, you can't do two of them at the same time. Concept of multitasking, two thoughts at once, I promise you it doesn't happen. Doesn't. Your brain isn't good at that. No one's brain is good at that. Thank God. You do need to be able to focus on one thought, but it's a matter of getting that out of there. So stick around. Stick around. We'll go through some, the next 8 minutes or so. If you could stick around with us for 8 minutes and we can keep you somewhat distracted, science tells us you might come up with something funny to say. Usually it takes about 8 minutes of thoughts, concentrating on something other than what you were doing to change that mindset. Whether an automatic negative thought is telling you to get high, or that automatic negative thought is telling you mom didn't love you, or that automatic negative thought is telling you, you know what? If you eat something, you're going to feel better. Go eat this. Go eat this. Life sucks. Go eat this. Life sucks. Go drink this. Life sucks. Go smoke this. All right. Go snort this. Go shoot this. Who cares? We're all in the same boat. 8 minutes, man. That's what you need. 8 minutes. Yes, tomorrow is a new day. Sweet Liberty. And this will be every single time the sun comes up. Man. The 8-minute quote is on the first inside of my journal. God bless you. That's fantastic. That's a good one. I promise you. And you know something? Every single person on this boat will give you 8 minutes. You need 8 minutes, reach out to somebody on this boat. I freaking promise you. There's nobody here that's going to go, sorry, I don't have 8 minutes. We know what 8 minutes does. We know that 8 minutes can save a life. Gotta save a life. Wilfred Harry says 7 now. Like it. Like it. You are just as awesome when you don't feel funny as when you do. Believe that. Believe that. I have to be careful with euphoric recall. Boy, oh boy, Gigi. This is something that I have dealt with in my life. Euphoric recall is a real thing. I can't, I go in and get anything done with a needle. Doesn't matter what it is. I get anything done with a needle. If I go in and get a TB test, or I go in and get a tetanus shot, anything where they're going to stick a needle in my arm or anything when that breaks my skin to euphoric recall, I'm done. I'm done. So if I have to get that procedure done, I usually want somebody with me because I get really weird afterwards. I really do. And it always kind of wants to take you back to a place that maybe I shouldn't be, Hold on 1 second. Yeah, 8 minutes is not overwhelming, right? No, it really isn't. But the problem is this. Here's the problem. Because people will say to me all the time, someone will reach out and go, Tommy, what the hell are you talking about? 8 minutes? Man, ants kicked my ass for 4 days straight. Oh, no. Don't get me wrong. 8 minutes of displacing the ant. We still got to do that. We got to displace that ant. Got to get the ants out of there, right? For 8 minutes. Because if you feed into it, if you sit there and continue to think about it, mother lover, I cannot believe she did this to me. I can go down that rabbit hole with my ex-wife. Oh, man. Not my first one, my second one. But if I go down that rabbit hole and I start circling the drain, this woman's out of my life. There's not anything there. I promise you there's not. There's nothing there that goes bang anymore. There's not. It's over. However, if I start reliving it, if I start going back to that memory, do you know what's going to happen to me really quickly? I'm going to start circling that drain, right? I am going to start circling that drain. I'm going to be in deep trouble. Oh, migraines and bookkeeping don't mix. Hey, Sean, this is for you. Thoughts and prayers for you, hon. That sucks. Yeah, that sucks. That really does. But yeah, the concept of so if you let it fester, if you let your thoughts sit there and continue, yeah, you can spend years sitting there and beating yourself up with the automatic negative thoughts and let it literally destroy your life. But once you understand the concept, once you realize that you do not have to sit and listen to that all day long, yeah, that internal voice that tells you you're worthless, you do not have to listen to that. I'm also here to tell you something else. If you want to get it together, if you want to start journaling, you want to start taking a little time, you can do something to input into your dome, right? Automatic negative thoughts. If you put into your head thoughts that are manually put in that are positive instead of negative, right? You're literally counteracting. And does it feel stupid? Yeah. Doing, sitting and looking in a mirror and going, you're good enough, you're smart enough, and doggone it, people like you. Yeah, you feel like Stuart Smalley, you start feeling silly. But I want to tell you something. I've done it for so friggin' long that there are days that I sit around and my internal monologue goes, you're good enough. You really are. You're good enough. You're a winner. You got ants in your brain telling you you're a winner. You did something freaking right. SB says, Jeremy Shelton, I could use your help. I can't decide between ABBA or a Bee Gees tattoo. Thoughts? I'm going to weigh in on this. ABBA, because of how they do the backward B on the thing, would make for a sick tattoo. The A and the two B's backwards with the A's on either side, sick tattoo. I'd give that one some thought. Maybe put Fernando underneath it, or like or Dancing Queen underneath it, something like that, tasteful. Because if you went with the Bee Gees, not that that's not a great idea, but then you got to start getting into portraits, because you would need to see Barry and Maurice and Robin. You need to see all of, maybe even a smaller portrait down below of Andy, God rest his soul. But yeah, I think ABBA probably would make the better tattoo. But Jeremy Shelton's not a bad man to ask on this. I promise you, if you were to ask anybody other than me, Jeremy Shelton would be a good bet. However, you can't answer neither. The question is, which one's better, one or the other? Folding long overdue laundry. Carol from Needing a Meeting. Carol, good to see you, people. Gotta love needing a meeting. Gotta love needing a meeting. Yeah, a few minutes on the boat can cheer you up, and honestly, can. Everybody needs a support system. The boat is a diamond support system. Don't suffer alone. Ask for support. You know what? There's something to that. It has kept me sober. This channel has kept me sober for a very long time. It really has. Friends, don't let friends get horrible tattoos. Wait a second. You didn't weigh in. The question was, which one would you think would be a better? It's a cop out to go, no, you can't get either. You got to pick. You got to go one or the other. If you had to get one, which one would you get? If you had to get a Bee Gees tattoo, I'll give you a third. I'll give you a third option. Bee Gees, Ace of Base would be the third. ABBA, the Bee Gees, or Ace of Base. Which one are you going with? Huh? Which one are you going with? I think I'd still rock ABBA, although Ace of Base would be a really funny one. You already have a Dancing Queen tramp stamp, so I was leaning to the Bee Gees, but I'm open. SB, love that. Love that. Do you know what is crazy about that? I also have that tramp stamp. So what are the odds? For real. What are the odds? Rick Spicer, good to see you. December, 130 videos. That's right. Yeah, there were a lot of, we did a lot of videos in December. That's right. AC/DC would be you know something? I saw the sign. Yeah, Gigi, love that tune. AC/DC I've seen a lot of really good AC/DC tattoos in my life. How deep is your love? Yeah, no, I think I'm seeing a lot of people. You have a death bat tattoo? Nice. We're going to need to see photos. 8-minute ants are gone. All right. I like it. Captain and Tennille tattoo would be amazing. Lumen, good call. Captain and Tennille, Daryl Dragon and his wife. Uh, you know what really broke my heart is that they've separated. The people that sang "Love Will Keep Us Together" are no longer together, and that's hard. I hear that song now, and I just want to punch the radio until there are small broken pieces of it all over the floor. ASAP Lizzie says, I have a problem with commitment. No tats here. If you have a problem with commitment, tattoos are a mistake. Vanilla Ice would also be in your top 3. I could see that. Oh, Jeremy Shelton. See, still, he's here. He's funny, but they're still a little dark there. We need a few more minutes. Jeremy said, I would end up being mean. BGs with a check mark next to each of their names, except for Barry. Sadly, the rest of them are gone. He is right on that. Little dark, but our boys, he's coming back. He's coming back. You heard she divorced him. Lumen, tell me that wasn't a bummer for you, right? Was it? It was for me. You know who else would be a good tattoo? Would be who sang Rupert Holmes. That would be a good tattoo. The guy that sang the Margarita song, and the guy that sings him, what you gonna do about him? Can we find anybody with a Rupert Holmes tattoo? If you have a Rupert Holmes tattoo, I think you should be able to get a I don't know, free car. You should be able to get something. See, Allison Metcalf Palumbo, she's got dark humor. She likes that too. Wait a second. No, somebody look up when Captain and Tennille split up. It was not decades ago. It can't be. No, because I was with an ex when this happened, and the person that I was with, I was not with decades ago. So it can't be. Can someone look that up? And you think that Daryl Dragon is dead? He could be. Yeah, the Bee Gees did write some nice stuff. Yes, the Pina Colada song, Rupert Holmes. Over by the window, there's a pack of cigarettes. Not my brand, you understand. Some guy, girl forgets. Jeremy Shelton would like to get a tattoo of tattoo from Fantasy Island. You know what? That's actually genius. I was going to pick on him, but that's genius. It really is. A tattoo of Hervé Villachez, the man who played Tattoo in the show. You could get him life-sized if you did it on your back. Too soon? Too soon? He's been dead a while. Was that too soon? Love never keeps couples together. Oh, no. It's all, yes, it is a whole lot of other stuff. Kimberly Holly. They divorced in 2016. See, it wasn't decades ago. And is Daryl Dragon still with us? The plane. Yes, wouldn't be bad to have that underneath. Good point, Sweet Liberty. Yeah, wouldn't be bad to have that underneath. Yeah. You guys, if you don't have tattoos, you're definitely in the minority. More people seem to have it these days. Yeah, they did. So they divorced in 2014. Okay, early 2014. So a decade, but not decades ago. Now, is Daryl Dragon dead? Can somebody look up? He died in 2019. We're going to have a moment of silence. I was incarcerated. That would have explained. 2019, I was also in the SHU for a chunk of that year. So I probably didn't know Daryl Dragon passed. I wouldn't have seen it on the TV or anything else. That's just sad. That's sad. I'm sorry. I'll be all right. Love is biochemically no different than eating large quantities of chocolate. Pacino. Yeah. Good line, good film. He's back. He's back. Uh, no, Debbie P. It's completely understandable. It is understandable. I wasn't even trying to. What I was trying to do was make sure that I'm not brain dead because that happens to me a lot, sadly. Um, he married a couple with sleeves, and yet never partook myself. How about that? Married a couple of guys with sleeves and never got a tattoo yourself. I'll be darned. 4 and counting. I'm slung back. She was at his side when he died, per Wikipedia. Oh, do you know what? That's lovely. That's absolutely lovely. You have just made my night. You have restored my faith in humanity. So Tennille was at Daryl Dragon's side when he died. That's absolutely beautiful. Now I could go after her. Rick, I think that that's legit. And since she stood by her man to the bitter end, I absolutely can respect that. That, and I love Daryl Dragon. I mean, he was the captain, man. Always had on a captain's hat. Ate a bag of Heath bars yesterday, but didn't feel the love, sadly. You know what? SB, yeah, there's not a lot of love in a bag of Heath bars. I'm sorry. Yeah, there's not though. But I've got I got faith in you. Tomorrow is a new day, and we're going to find love outside of a bag of yeah, you know where you got to find love? It's going to sound like, hey, Tony Robbins, you know where you got to find love for real? Inside you. You really do. You got to find love inside you. Because I'll tell you something. You want to hear a quote you can take with you? Because this is a damn good one. No one is ever going to love you more than you love yourself. I promise. Usually, they won't even love you as much as you love yourself. So if you don't set the bar high, trust and believe your mate, and no one else is gonna match. So you better learn to love yourself. I promise. It is the start of everything good. And cue the Whitney Houston song, right? But no joke. If you do not, oh no, really, inner Kristen's kind of ornery. Hey, not for nothing. Outer Christie's kind of ornery. I love you, but let's keep that real. Jeremy Sheldon says, I don't have tattoos, but if my girlfriend ever cheated on me, I would get green sleeves. There you go. There you go. You can't fully understand the concept of love or be able to express it until you can actually love yourself. That is a fact. That is an absolute fact. Thank you. I knew you'd appreciate that, Kristen Melinda. Kristen Melinda is a thinker. She's fun. She really is. Yes, SB, it is absolutely 100% true. You got to learn to love yourself, and it's not as difficult as you think. It is not. Here's the problem. The problem is we have listened to what society has told us forever, right? And society has never done a good job of telling us anything, literally anything that wasn't stupid. Even when they try to help us, you're perfect exactly how you are. No, you're not. Trust and believe you're not. You're not. Everybody needs to work on themselves. Everybody needs to be working on themselves always. Doc, good to see you. Zelda, I'm glad you're here. Absolutely. Everybody needs to be moving forward. Pee Wee Herman loved himself so much once it got him arrested. Jeremy Shelton's back. There's my boy. He's back. It's true. Pee Wee Herman did love himself, from what I understand, third time before they arrested him. I mean, if you're a cop, you got to watch somebody, three times. You couldn't arrest him on the first one. Yeah, you're just a pervert, right? You're just a perverted cop. That's what you are. Like you dig watching it. There's no other explanation. You're a weirdo. Sorry, but explain it to me. Kimberly Holly says, love yourself and patch the holes in your own love bucket so that people can pour into you. Kimberly, I love that. I absolutely love that. And Body Illusion says, Jeremy Shelton, welcome back. Yeah, that's it. Absolutely. He's back. Um, just have to pay attention to what makes you unhappy over and over again and baby steps to pull out of it. You really have to. Thank you, Lisa. That's thank you, Lisa. I appreciate the hell out of that. I really do. No, it's there's a lot to be said for not listening to the things that society tells us. Being having a best friend these days who's a woman has been remarkably eye-opening. For real. It's been funny to listen to how many times Quibble says, not, and I don't mean when we're live, but just the two of us. Guys love that. Guys love this. She so far is O for the entire time we've known each other. Seriously. She's never once said one that was correct. And unfortunately, people live their lives based on those false narratives and those false ideas of what this person or that group of people or this group of people wants. Again, forget that crap. Forget that crap and become comfortable with who you are, right? Become comfortable with who you are and love who you are. And you know something? When you do, you will find someone who will love you as much as you love yourself, right? Forgiving oneself is a challenge. To be sure, it is. Forgiving yourself is a challenge. Loving yourself again is a challenge, right? If the things that we did in our past are so foul that they're just not worthy of forgiveness, then give them away and raise your hand if yours is worse than, say, hurting people for drugs or hurting people for money, right? Robbing banks. I've done a lot of foul crap, people, right? I'm telling you that if I can forgive that, you guys can forgive anything, right? And amazingly, you all have forgiven me for the things that I've done in my past, or you wouldn't be here. It means you're pretty forgiving people. If you can forgive me for the things that I've done in my past, and you can, or you wouldn't be here, why can you not forgive yourself for the things you've done in yours? They're not as foul. I promise you, they're not as foul. I was the perfect dude to start this channel because people weren't going to show up and go, well, I was a lot worse. No, you weren't. No, you weren't. You know, I was off the rails. I was off the rails. I was robbing banks to pay for heroin to put in my arm. When they pulled that away from me and made it painfully obvious I was never going to be able to rob another bank, I became a gun runner. Right? I started buying and selling guns illegally as a way to make a living, which is classy, right? But I wasn't in my right mind. Early on, in the very early days of the lifeboat, there was a cat from London who was from Great Britain that was on the boat. And, he was talking one day about. Thank you, Nelly. He was talking about people doing things, right, that are just plain stupid, right? You're right. It is harder, but this is where you have to come from. People say to me, Tommy, how can you forgive yourself for the things that you've done, especially the things you've done? I mean, you burned your family, you did all of these things. How can you forgive yourself? And here's what it is. Have you met anybody in their right mind, right, that would rob a bank? How about would rob more than one or more than two or more than four, right? Nobody in their right mind does that. How about more than six? No one in their right mind does that. No one in their right mind buys and sells illegal guns. I mean, think about who you're selling to. Right? You're selling weapons to somebody. You got to figure there's a pretty good chance they already got some, right? It's a dangerous line of work, right? Nobody in their right mind does that. Nobody in their right mind sticks needles in their arms, right? At 9 o'clock in the morning as a way to just get out of bed. No one in their right mind does that. So if I'm not in my right mind, Why would I beat the piss out of myself about it? I wasn't at the helm. I gave the wheel to heroin, right? The heroin was driving. Plain and simple. Heroin was at the wheel. And I'm not going to hold Tommy accountable for heroin. I'm not. I've come to grips with it, right? I definitely have come to grips with the things that I've done. And that's something everybody has to do. How do you do that, Tom? You write it down, right? Commit it to that journal. Write it down and say, I'm done with it. That's why I'm writing it down. I'm writing it down. Then I'm putting it away. It doesn't need to be in here. It doesn't need to be in here clogging up my crap every single day. I'll take it out of here. I'll put it onto an external hard drive and I'll stick that thing away somewhere. Right? Notebook gone. External hard drive filed. And now, instead of running around here, I've taken it and putting it down. And when I put it down on paper, when I wrote down the things that I did that I thought were foul, when I put them down onto paper, I came to grips with them. It wasn't, it takes a minute to write those down. And as you're doing it, you're going, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. And then as you're doing it and starting to get that guilt, you go, whoa. No one in their right mind does that. Never quit quitting is, I think, what you're looking for. Never quit quitting. Banks, meh. MLMs, though. No, you know what? I deserve that shade. I designed pay plans for network marketing companies. Oh, if we want to match ugly, how about convincing people in foreign countries that because the United States changed their currency, the money that they had been saving all those years was no longer worth what it was printed on. So if you had an old $100 bill, I would trade it out for you for, say, 80 cents on the dollar. That's pretty sleazy. That's pretty sleazy. And I wasn't in my right mind. I promise you, looking back on it now, realizing that I was literally stealing from people whose life savings might have been $200, right? And I was going to take 40 of it. But that was pretty much who I was at that point in my life, right? Because I wasn't at the wheel. The dude at the wheel would do anything to get dope. The dude at the wheel needed to put between 6 and 7 grams of dope a day in his arm just to function, just to be able to get up and do what I did, right? Yeah, well, there's a lot of truth to that. Old coins definitely are worth a lot more money than paper right now, Mr. Dragon, to be sure. When we have humility, we don't feel humiliated. Wow, I love that, Mary Gonzalez. That's a very cool quote right there. A lot of truth to that. Yeah, it's a painful memory. I got a grip of them. I've gotten way better at I get through them because there's nothing, you're never going to watch me you're very rarely going to watch me go through something here for the first time, right? I've gone through all of the crap of my life. I've laid out all of the things that I did that were just downright disgusting, right? That was a good one. I mean, that's a painful memory. I've done worse. When I got, I mean, at rock bottom, there was nobody left to hustle. There was nobody left to steal from, right? I was in prison. You can't con people. There's nothing left to do. Any skill I had, there was no way to make anything off of that. So then what you end up doing is finding the dope man. And thank you, General Boa. Finding the guy that dealt and saying, look, who are the people that owe you the most money? Right. How about if I go and get money from them? How about if I go and collect? Would you give me a percentage of whatever I collect? And that's what I did, and that's just a crappy thing to do to get paid. It's a crappy thing to do to get paid. But I did, and then you pick the week because it's easier, right? There'd be a list of people that owed him money. I promise you, I wasn't looking for the biggest guys on the list. I was looking for the smallest guys on the list. Because again, at that junction in my life, the soul was gone. I had left that thing. You talking about loan sharking? No, more than anything else, what I was doing was collecting. So a guy would be into the dope dealer for $250. Well, I would never collect for $250, but normally they were into him for thousands, and he's not making payments, right? The dope dealer is not getting any money. This is in prison. So I would go into the guy selling and have words with him and encourage him to pay the dope dealer. And if he then went and made a payment to the dope dealer, then I got free dope. So what it basically entailed was going into a guy selling, beating the crap out of him, right? Until he decided to make a phone call and get money sent to the drug dealer. It's not a very not a lovely way to make a living, not a lovely way to keep the dope flowing. But I had to come up with dope every single day to feed my arms. Yeah, that's basically where I was at. So it's not a pleasant thing. But once again, no one in their right mind does that, right? No one in their right mind does it. But I wasn't in my right mind by any stretch of the imagination. I was not in my right mind. I'm not going to hold myself, Tommy Scoville, the dude I am today. I'm not holding that dude accountable for the crap that I did when I had been doped for decades, right? 2.5, 3 decades I had been on dope. I'm sorry. I'm not, I was not in my right mind. I'm not going to hold myself accountable for that. I am going to give away. I'm going to give away the guilt from that, right? Give it away. Watching with love and support from Clearwater. Much love, Dusty Soda Fountain. Thank you. A lot of love for that area. How much was I using a day in prison? Honestly, probably half a gram a day in prison. That was about the best that I could. That was about the best that I could do. There was a period of time there where I basically could do as much as I want. It got kind of crazy. The guy who was my running partner, the guy that I did all of my dope with, was a huge Mexican cat, really big, yoked up Mexican dude I used to work out with, and I paid for most of it for real. Like I was new in there, I still had money on my books, and I used to get him high every day. And after I was making a lot of money in prison. After everything went screwy, the yard lost the shot caller, and we got locked down for like 6 months. And when we came off lockdown, my best friend became the shot caller for the yard. And he got like all the dope that came in, he got 10% off the top of everything. He got 10% of everything that happened in that prison. So there was just dope. There was dope and money everywhere. And since I had taken good care of this dude, he was taking really good care of me. Fortunately, I got stabbed. Unfortunately, I should say. I got stabbed, and that stopped all that. Once I got stabbed, they had to move me off that yard. If you get stabbed, they can't keep you on the same yard. It's a policy. It doesn't put me in a dark place at all, Neely, and not at all. It does not put me in a dark place at all, and I'll tell you why. Because I am not holding myself responsible. I have taken responsibility. Don't get me wrong. But I'm not gonna crucify myself for this. I'm not gonna beat myself up for this. The person that sits in front of you today is so far removed from that dude. It's like two human beings. It's like two completely different human beings. And I'm not jacked up about that. I'm not. There are things I that from my past that I struggle with. Everybody does. But no, for the most part, the drug stuff, all of that, the family stuff, that's hard. The hardest for me, the hardest is coming to grips with the fact that when you go away and you do the things that you do, there are kids that lose a dad, and that's a reality, and it's pretty nasty stuff. That's something you got to come to grips with. And my kids and I are super close. We have great relationships, but that doesn't it doesn't change the fact that that was the life that I handed my kids, and that I struggle with, but all you can do if you get to something, if there's a part of your life, part of your past that you can't get over, right? No other way to put it. There's a part of your life that you can't seem to forgive yourself for. Then what you have to do then is say, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to live the rest of my life in such a way to be a tribute, right? To literally be the exact opposite of who I was. I want my actions, I want how I live to be a testament to the people that I burned the first time around. You feel me? It's hey, good luck on your interview tomorrow, and go in there and knock them dead. You're going to. I don't have a doubt. Go in there and knock them dead, to be sure. Oh, yeah, there's a good one right here. Goosebump says, I find it hardest to forgive myself for not living up to my potential. Yeah, that's real. And a lot of us, I think, have struggled with that. That's real. You're the daughter of a bank teller. Wow. That's crazy, Miss Sunrise Dawn. That's I was the kind of person that she was worried about robbing her mom's bank when going in and hitting her mom's bank. It's a wild world, isn't it? It really is. It's a wild world. You want to know something ironic? I'm the daughter of a bank teller. You're one of the people I worried about coming into mom's bank. And now you're part of my chosen family. Gotta love that. You really do, actually. And Kimberly Holly says a dark person that turns to light is like a friggin' Jedi. It's like changing the flow of the mighty Colorado River, and humans did that too. Thank you, Kimberly. That's a really cool way to put that. I really appreciate that. Hey, SB, I'm glad you're back. Right, I really am. I'm glad you're back. SB says, Tommy and crew, thank you for having this boat for us. I've been struggling a bit, but hope to get back here more often. Love to all and have a great night. Yeah, I we hope to see you back here too. Right, true story. We hope to see you back here too. And thanks, guys. I really want this job. I have tons of experience, and I'm nervous. Got no reason to be. If you have tons of experience, let me tell you something. Right? Yeah, Lisa, I knew you were a bank teller back in the day. And you know what, Lisa, I would have gone directly to you. I really would have. I promise you I would have. I never robbed a guy. I always robbed a woman. And you're a blonde. Yeah, I would have gone right to you. I guarantee I would have. Sadly, that's the truth. Uh, so the in this market that we're in currently, when we all went running inside with the face diapers, right? We talk about this, and then we never came back out, right? Well, the workforce never came back out either. And currently, it's really hard to get decent employees. So if you have a lot of experience, you don't need to be nervous. You can walk in there, you own this. This is the time to be going to interviews in this country. You own this. Yeah, I'm just keeping it real. It is funny, but I definitely that's how I kind of pick them. Yeah, Cag says my new daughter-in-law did federal time for transportation of drugs across the border. Many years later, she's not the same person. Everyone can make a mistake. It's what happens next that counts. You know what? There's a lot of truth to that. Now, by way of full disclosure, I don't know if you ever saw the movie Liar Liar, but when, he says driven into the arms of another man, and she goes 7. And he goes, yeah, whatever. By way of full disclosure, I made mistakes every day for about 30 years. I was a career criminal. I really was. I didn't. I know a lot of people in prison that snapped. I know a lot of people in prison that screwed up, that were desperate, that did something dumb, but they made that one mistake. That wasn't me. I was I was systematically a dirtbag, but I was certainly not in my right mind. Christy Hughes for my mods. You know what, Christy? I love you, and you are as as constant as the Northern Star, and I say that with the utmost respect. I really do. It's a beautiful thing. um, classy. And you know what? We got great mods, and they've had to be. Oh, they've had to be. Right? Oh, Christy, thoughts and prayers. Christy says, I fell and hit my head, and I'm back from the hospital. Can we get some thoughts and prayers, please, for Christy? I am so sorry to hear that. Yeah, I'm so sorry to hear that. Uh, yeah, but like I was saying, by way of full disclosure, I was, you know what? I'm glad that you feel safe here, Christy. You are. Uh, yeah, by way of full disclosure, I was a career criminal. I was a dirtbag, but I absolutely revamped my entire life. I sat down and designed the person that I wanted to become, and then I did. Yes, thank God you have a hard head. Uh, and then I became that person. I did what I had to do to become that person, and I did it in every aspect of my life. I'm not bragging, but it's the truth. You guys remember? I don't know how remember how long ago it was now, but when the doctor started to, when I really had to start tripping out on my health and some of the cognitive decline and some of the other stuff that had been going on, and the doctor said, you know what, we really need you to lose a lot more weight. I came on and said, you watch, right? There's no more farting around. I'm about to lose all of that weight. And I have. Every once in a while, one of you will send me an email that goes, oh, you know what? You look weight. I told you people I was going to do this. I really needed to, right? I needed to lose. And I did. Now I'm not losing anymore. I'm where I need to be. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with where I'm at. Pretty happy with where I'm at. And I've staved off, I've been doing really well on the cognitive decline thing. You'll know after 10 a.m. Okay. Well, then you're going to have to come here and let us know for sure. Thank you, General Bo. I appreciate that. I uh, I don't jump up on soapboxes, and I don't. Oh wow, Amy, I'm so glad you're all right. I don't preach to anybody here. I really don't. I don't bring my religion up much. But I came to the realization that I do believe. And at some point, I was going to stand in front of my maker and I was going to have to say I did absolutely nothing with the first 46 years of my life. And that sucks. But I would be damned if I was going to say I didn't do anything from 46 on either. Right. From that point on, I was going to do everything within my power to leave the earth a better place than I found it. Because for the first 46 years, I did everything I could do to F it up. You know what? You don't have to become a member one way or the other, but I hope you get the job. I really hope you get the job, and I hope it's fulfilling. Jeremy, I love you, man. Jeremy says everybody bashes the career criminals, but they are goal oriented, driven, and looking to further their careers in the future. Their 401k stinks, though, and there's a lot of truth to that. We have a really horrific retirement plan. If you've never seen the retirement communities for career criminals, I have. In fact, I went there for a little while. Probably not gonna probably not gonna go that way. I'm uh, I'm not going back. Amy, I'm glad you're sober and happy. Thank you, Doc. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I appreciate the hell out of that. Ah, Christy, I love you. I really do. And I'm happy to be firing on at least 6 of the 8 cylinders currently, maybe six and a half. But I'm doing better every day. I really am. I'm doing better every day. And that's a good thing. I was um, I was getting pretty freaked out, people. I'm not going to lie to you. I was getting pretty freaked out. But I seem to be doing an awful lot better. And shout out to my friend for for helping me out. It's been a pretty symbiotic thing here. I think we're both doing a pretty good job of helping each other out. Progress, not perfection. I love that. It's a good one to love that. Progress, not perfection. Wait, we're supposed to have eight. I have eight cylinders. You might have four. There's nothing wrong with that. My mood seems better. I am less distracted, and that really helps with my mood because of the fact that I got two cylinders that aren't very good anymore. There's a lot of things going on like this and kind of tugging at my life from different directions. Um, I can't cope with it. I can't. It's and that's horrible because when I was running the boat, I was doing that with 50 things going, right? And doing that for years. And it was never a problem. But after the that little experimental run, with that medication, it really did me in. And now that kind of multitasking thing makes me feel like my head's going to explode, and it's just a really difficult thing to process. Quibble has been great at sort of well, someone said you needed to stay in the moment. Well, that's probably a great way to look at this. She's done wonders to keep me to keep the world from getting anywhere near me until I get a little bit more normal, and which is a good thing. How do you stay less distracted? Do you do less? Uh, yeah, I'm doing considerably less. And I don't recommend that to everybody, but I'm a unique case, right? This was I ended up with all of the symptoms of rapid cycle bipolar disorder brought on by a medication that I had a fairly horrific reaction to. Well, that a lot of people had a pretty horrific reaction to. Uh, the it doesn't have a name that it's never been released. So when we look at it, it's usually a bunch of letters and numbers. I tried three different ones. None of them had a name like you would do Viagra or something like that. Because none of them are through the approval process. They just haven't got to there yet. I think when they're approved and all that, then they pay somebody to come up with a name. Oh, Miss Sunrise Dawn, that's awesome. Says you look the happiest and most relaxed I've seen since you started on the boat. That's great. Um, can I elaborate? I I have been diagnosed with cerebral infarction, and that's causing early onset dementia. So because of that, there are some because that's my diagnosis. I was able to try some medications that have not gone through FDA approval, and that's the nice thing is that if there's something out there that can really help you, you don't have to wait, right? Because it might be too late. If your cognitive decline is getting worse, and there's something out there that could stop that, you'd like to try it, right? Unfortunately, this didn't work. Right, the first two didn't work either, but they didn't seem to do anything. This one, I felt like I was early onset dementia. ASAP Lizzie, early onset dementia. It was risky. Um, yes, I've been having issues. Yeah, I had been having issues for an extended period of time. I had been, I lose things, right? And I mean, I don't mean like I misplace keys. Like I will lose a day. I will lose blocks of time. I don't remember meeting people, which is a bummer, especially with what I do, right? So now I can come on and do the things that I do. I spend a lot less time one on one with people because it's such a bummer for somebody to open up and really tell me, huge things about their life and then have me go, I don't remember who you are. That's a slap in the friggin' face to people, even if I don't want it to be. Tommy, I hope this is an okay question. Are you seeing different doctors in KC, getting a second opinions from doctors? Shannon C, thank you. That's not, there's nothing, yeah, I'm not offended by you asking that question. There's nothing wrong with that. I have so my diagnosis was in 2016, 2016 or 2017. So I've had this for a long time. And for years, we kind of just thought that they were all wrong, right? I wasn't seeing, there were no symptoms at all, right? There was no symptoms at all. Uh, Unfortunately, um, recently they started to come on and come on quick, you know, and normal doctors, if I go to doctors and I get a second opinion, they're going to say to me, here's a list of stuff we'd like to put you on, and they're all amphetamine products because they will help you focus in, right? They will help you tweak, right? If you've done the drug. And when you can't focus and there's things going on all over the place, tweaking is a good thing, right? It keeps you focused on one thing. I can't take that stuff, right? I know who I am, right? I can't take that stuff. And if I take that stuff, it will lead me back to heavy, heavy stuff. You know what? I don't want anybody, don't do that. For real, don't do that. I came to I did this this isn't a shocker, people. This is 2016, right? I back then I mourned and did all of that crap. Um, I have I go flying by places. I'll drive by my exit on the freeway. I do that all the time, but a lot of people do that. That's a big thing is like when I walk into a room, I will never remember why I'm in there ever, ever. Right? If I go into a room to get something, I never remember why I went in there. And God forbid somebody talks to me on the way. And you'll notice if you've seen me on other shows, if I'm on with somebody, Quibble's great about it, but if you introduce a different subject, I'm never going to get back to whatever I was talking about. Those days are gone. Those days are gone. Yeah. And as a public speaker, I used to be able to forget about, and then weave your way back in. Somebody would ask a question, or you could keep the thread, right? And, there's nothing magic about that. It's just, you can do it when your brain works, but when your brain stops working, that doesn't work too well. Or when your brain starts, I'm not gone, right? I'm just, I'm certainly not what I was, but that's all right. Vegemite, oddly enough, Jeremy Shelton, I was willing to try that experimental medication. Vegemite, yeah. I think I'll stick with the experimental stuff. No, I won't be. Uh, I, yeah, I will not be doing any more of those. I'm done. I'm done experimenting on my own brain. It wasn't a good idea. It was not a good idea. But yeah, no, I'm not. I'm pretty comfortable with where I'm at. I just I have to do crap a whole lot different than I did, right? Dave's not here, man. I have to do things differently. I have my journaling takes on a different importance, right? Now I write down things because I don't want to lose them. Right now it's an external memory, is what it is. I'm not as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was. Boy, there's a lot of truth to that. Love that song. Correct. I'm that's what I'm doing. I'm adapting. Absolutely, ASAP Lizzie. I do everything that nothing's changed except how I do what I do. I can say lots, but there's things that I can take to help. Um, there, I'm willing to look into things that help. I know that there are some things out there that have been recommended to me. Some I actually am continuing to take. Amy, thank you. Yeah, I feel great now. Vegemite is disgusting to be sure. Uh, Thank you, Miss Sunrise Dawn. That's awesome. Thank you. No, you know what? And I'm having a ball. I really am. I'm having a really, really good time. Um, Mentality works. Also, the science is progressing. I believe that too. I know that. I know that we're definitely progressing. There's a lot of people studying this stuff. Shannon, see, a lot of this is a lot of this is because I was really sharp. Uh, when I started to, like I said, I didn't think we really thought that there was a misdiagnosis for the longest time because I just didn't progress at all. I just did not progress, and then it just started to go like this. But when I started the lifeboat, I was as sharp as a friggin' tack, and this process now is like it's like second nature. Oh no, Alice, I don't know that story, but that sounds awful. Yeah. I completely radically changed my diet, Mary Gonzalez. I did. I absolutely radically changed my diet, which was really important. It really was. the Thank you, Neely. I'm fighting to stay pretty damn sharp. I really am. And when you guys see me, like when I'm doing this, I'm great. I'm great. It's my ability to remember conversations and things that I had with people that I really struggle with, right? Um, Especially if I happen to have met somebody in the last 4 or 5 months, 6 months. If I've known you for a while, that's great. But if I haven't known you for a while, I tend to lose people. I don't remember them, and it's a bummer if I'm working with you one on one. It's not a bummer if I mean it's great here. It really is. It's great. Nicole, good to see you. Glad to see you. Glad that you're here. Relatable Reese kidnapped me, and it's we've changed it to real table Reese recently. Stray, nice to see you. Um, yeah, nice to see you. I'm currently in Quibble's basement. This office down here is the Quibble estate. Uh, and she crashed a long time ago. But yeah, I'm up a little late tonight, but that's always fun. Uh, it's been going great, Stray. It's been going great. It really has. I am more hopeful these days than I've been in a long time. I was really I was having issues. Um, you know what? Sadly, Amy, this is real. Um, yes, I am in. This is the real table basement. I'm not sure if you knew that, but this really is the real table basement. This is, if you look, this is her set, not mine. Um, It is so important to talk about this, Tommy. People mourn when they realize their mental acuity is dulling, and then you don't need to. You don't need to. This is going to happen to everybody. I promise it is. Right? Look, it's early onset dementia, right? Eventually, this happens to all of you. You live long enough, it happens to all of us. I just, because of how many times I got um, bopped on the head, the number of concussions that I've had, mine is coming a little sooner. But it's going to happen to everybody. So, but there's no reason to mourn it, and there's no reason to look at it like a death or a change or anything. You have to adapt. You have to change, like our friend said. You have to adapt. You have to change how you do. You don't have to change what you do, but you have to change how you do it. You do it. But I journal a hell of a lot more. New memories are very, very hard to retain. My long term memory is incredible. My long term memory is incredible. I do great with that. It's one of the reasons that this is easy because I talk a lot about the past, but my long-term memory is still really, really good. No, today I feel great. Amy, I know that yeah, you drop a step and it's a bit of a bummer, but yes, as a matter of fact, I did. Uh, what's the difference between dementia and Alzheimer's? Well, in Alzheimer's, a person will have a fork in their hand and they'll look at it and go, "What is this thing called?" Right, and they won't remember that. In dementia, the person will have that thing in their hand and they'll go, "What is this thing for?" It's a different you. One is more, but eventually they do the same thing. In all honesty, eventually they do the same thing. But Alzheimer's tends to be, you lose words, you lose memories of people. Dementia, your body starts to actually eventually it's shutting down. The brain is shutting down, and in the process of doing that, it can shut down. It can eventually get to the part of the brain that keeps your heart beating, right? And if that part of the brain shuts down, then that's the end of it. So dementia is a little different. Yeah, dementia's worse. It is. But we're all going to get that. I promise you, to some degree, right? We come into this world wearing diapers and we leave wearing diapers. And the metal is where we put on our big boy pants. You know what? Jeremy Shelton started out, he's finishing strong. He's finishing strong. Hey, Space Diesel, we're thankful you're here too, man. We are really thankful that you are here too. We really are. Um, I went on a few different benders with cocaine and stimulants, multiple seizures. I'm thankful to be here. That's um, that's good. Oh, no, I'm not tripping, Christy. I'm not tripping at all, right? Uh, truthfully, no. I think talking about stuff is good. I think that talking about stuff is good. Um, yeah, it's they are similar. They're similar. Uh, yeah, yeah. And on that note, we've run it a little long, about an hour and a half into this, so probably going to call this one. But I will be back to tomorrow night, same bat time, same bat channel. I'll be here at 7:30 doing the boat. So and I don't think. Oh, I'm also tomorrow. Tomorrow is the night I am on Surviving the Survivor. Tomorrow's Friday, yeah, isn't it? Tomorrow night I'm on Surviving the Survivor. Love that show. Love that show. Um, I've got a great crew of people over there that I really enjoy going and hanging out with. Thank you. I have a lot of fun on Surviving the Survivor. Joel's a good friend and a great guy. He's uh he's in Boston right now on his book tour, but we're gonna go live tomorrow night at 5:30 East Coast time. Let me make sure that's not wrong. Let me make sure that's not wrong. If I go from memory, there's a good chance I'm going to get all of you there on it. Let's see here. Yeah, 5:30 East Coast time. 5:30 East Coast. Oh, have fun, ASAP Lizzie. She's going to see a band tomorrow night. Good. Have a good time. Have a good time. That's awesome. Yeah, and thanks to the mods. You guys are fantastic. I really appreciate all your effort. Um, Yeah, 5:30 on the East Coast. That would be 5:30 on the East Coast, Surviving the Survivor. You can see it on STS tomorrow at 5:30. I will be live there with Joel. All right. Then I will be here 7:30 on the East Coast. No, 7:30 on the West Coast. Then I will be going live at 7:30 on the West Coast. Same time as I was tonight. All right. I will see you. I will see you people then. Between now and then, reach out and try to save somebody. All right. Thank you. God bless. Have a good day. Bye bye.